wanted to sell his company to Blockbuster, but the Blockbuster CEO laughed at the idea. History is witness that the same Blockbuster which once stood like a mountain in front of them was forced to kneel down just a few years later. Welcome once again to Netflix's story, dear viewers. This is about the year 1997 when interest in internet business was growing. Mark had countless ideas, ranging from selling pet food to baseball bats on the internet, which he shared with Jeff Bezos. But Reed Hastings didn't like any of those ideas. Reed wanted to start an internet business where customers only needed to find them once, and then would keep returning again and again. This exchange of ideas continued for months, but finally, they both landed on one idea. Videotapes were the sole source of entertainment at that time. People would go to their nearby Blockbuster store on weekends, spend hours selecting their favorite movie, rent it, and take it home, and if the tape wasn't returned on time, there would be a fine. At the time the idea struck, Reed Hastings had a $40 fine, which he had to pay to Blockbuster for returning a videotape late. Reed believed this industry desperately needed a change, and the idea of renting movies online would work for sure, but the problem was that video cassettes were heavy, and mailing them would be costly, not to mention the damage during postage. That was a huge issue, so, even before launching their new internet business, Mark and Reed saw it failing. A few weeks later, they discovered DVD technology through a tech magazine. DVDs were much lighter and cheaper than videotapes, and postage would be far more affordable. Reed Hastings thought, why not rent DVDs instead of videotapes? It would be more profitable. DVDs would be delivered to customers' doors, along with a prepaid return envelope, making it easier for them to return it. The idea was simple, but they needed money to start it, and neither Mark nor Reed had that investment. Somehow, they set up a small, low-budget office with cheap folding tables and second-hand furniture. Employees were hired on low salaries with the promise of getting a share in the business if it succeeded. At 9 a.m. sharp, they launched the website, also installing a bell that would ring on every new order. Mark placed the first order himself, and the bell rang for the first time. 1 minute later, it rang again. This time it was a real customer. They received 137 orders, much more than they had expected, and the site was down for hours due to heavy traffic, which meant they would have gotten even more orders. They realized they needed to fix their website to avoid repeated crashes. DVD rentals brought in only $11,000. Most people preferred to buy DVDs outright rather than rent them. They had given customers both options: buy for $25 or rent for $4. Mark and Reed wanted more people to use the rental service, because the same DVD could be rented repeatedly until it was damaged, meaning continued profit. They knew they were selling solely because there was no competitor in the market. A few weeks later, they got a call from Amazon. Jeff Bezos, who had already dominated online book sales, wanted to enter the DVD market too. Mark and Reed, however, wanted to focus only on DVD rentals, not selling them, so they decided to build their own business and got to work on developing Netflix's rental model. They launched a promotional campaign, a coupon code offering 10 free DVD rentals, but the promotion failed because the coupon codes were stuck outside the DVD player boxes, meaning people didn't even need to buy a DVD player to get the offer. It was a huge loss. On top of that, Amazon Online and President Bill Clinton got involved in a love affair with a White House intern, Monica. The story broke out, and court hearings began, where the affair was proven and Clinton was removed from presidency. At that time, the entire US was searching for videos of the court trial. The promotion turned out to be even more harmful than expected. Meanwhile, Blockbuster continued doing the same thing through physical stores. Luckily, the idea still worked. 90% of the people who saw the promotion subscribed. These were the very customers Mark and Reed had worked so hard for. Thanks to the subscription model, Blockbuster earned $800 million annually in late fees. But they took Netflix to lightly, and because they were running physical stores, they never felt the need for a small internet business. They scheduled a meeting with the Blockbuster CEO. At first, the CEO quietly listened to their offer, then asked their price. Reed Hastings promptly said, $50 million. Upon hearing this, the Blockbuster CEO laughed loudly. For the first time in the world, a streaming site made this possible. In a panic, Blockbuster took steps that severely hurt their business. For example, if you returned a videotape without rewinding it, Blockbuster charged a separate fee. They had been squeezing customers for years. Meanwhile, Netflix focused on solving these problems. In the end, more and more customers joined them. Those who are afraid to change are always replaced by someone else who sees the opportunity. The same thing happened with Nokia's photography tech. They refused to evolve, and other companies overtook them. Today, Netflix employees are spread across the globe. The company is worth more than 28.8 trillion rupees and generates around 190 billion rupees in annual sales, the same price at which Blockbuster once laughed at the idea. Today, people visit Blockbuster stores just to relive memories. We hope you like and share this video from Discover TV just as much. Thank you so much for your loving comments. See you in the next amazing video.